Saturday, May 11th, 2024. Current time is 11:26. Temperature 71. Currently on Minnesota 16/5th Minnesota 15. Current speed limit is 65 miles an hour. Continuing our journey to Fairmont, Minnesota. Minnesota 15 and 30 exit coming up on the right. Lewisville and Truman. Control city is Fairmont. Exit suggested 55. I think it's a little bit, 55 is a little fast for this. It does drop down to 30 when you get to the edge here. This is what they call the malfunction junction, where you have both lanes of traffic going across the top and the divided highways going underneath. But there's no full clover leaf here. It's just a malfunction. Continuing south now on Minnesota 30/Minnesota 15. 15 south, 30 east. Speed limit is now 60. And we will merge from 4 lanes to 2. Lewisville is 3 miles, Truman 9 miles, and the control city of Fairmont is 21 miles. Highway 15 continues south after Fairmont into Iowa, locales of Armstrong, and continues on south. Going the opposite direction. Continues up to Medelia, New Ulm, eventually to St. Cloud, Minnesota. Traffic's a little slower here this morning. You drive this on a Friday evening, or actually early evening or late afternoon, you've got all the people headed towards Mankato for the evening. Makes it difficult for passing. Our journey started, of course, in Mankato. Minnesota fishing opening weekend, as the fishing season for walleye opened at midnight last night here in Minnesota. Approaching Watonwan County number 10, which comes from the east, and it'll go west here a little ways south Yes, the metropolis of Lewisville, Minnesota. Lewisville is home to Altenburg Construction. They specialize in slat replacement. You ask, what is a slat? It's used in livestock facilities. It's a slab of concrete, usually rectangular, that sits above a collection area to collect liquid manure, and it's got little slits in it so that the manure will fall through the slat, the concrete, and then collect into the collection area below. And over the years, those tend to wear down, and this company will go in and replace those, which is somewhat of a unique process inside of a building to do. Still a lot of ground that has not been worked yet this spring, nor planted here. We're just coming out of a stretch where it was like every other or every third day of rain. I surmise that later today we'll see a lot of ground being converted and planted. At least what's remaining to be done. Coming up on 30, exits here to the east, heads to Winnebago, Minnesota, then eventually Amboy, Mapleton, across to New Richland, Geneva, eventually ends up in Rochester, southwest side of Rochester, Minnesota. This section of road was repaved last summer. Rumble strips installed, so it meets all the current requirements. Hence the speed limit of 60. Junction of Watonwan County 107 and 8. 7 goes to the east, 8 to the west. To the west it goes to South Branch. Truman, Minnesota. Crossing Watmont, or actually we're in Martin County now, so that's Martin County 54. The county marker sign is a little after the county line. Truman is home to County Line Electric. Jared and Ethan and Brad. Welcome to Truman. Population 1,092. Speed limit drops to 30. Current time 11:37, 72 degrees. Yes, they have a Dollar General and a Casey's, so this is considered a town. The water tower is blue and white with an emblem of kind of the skyline of Truman. Truman also the home of Beckett Building Supply and Watson Plumbing and Heating. Also home to C&B John Deere implement. And Elizabeth Chevrolet. Schwann's has got a little distribution warehouse. And D&K Tire Service. Pro Shed of Minnesota display also. Speed limit is 60 again. Stretch of road is famous for the barns along it having a what they call a quilted mural, usually on the top up by the peak. The mural looks like a quilt. They're in various patterns. did another video where we went to Imogene and went through Winnebago. So this is the Elm Creek here now. Water is not flooding out of the banks, but it's quite full for compared to normal. Got a fertilizer tender in front of us. And there's our first sighting of a field work being done on the right. Some tillage. Like a John Deere 40 series. Late 80s, early 90s vintage tractor. On the right is the city of Northrop, Minnesota.